going live on
I should
88.
share the show out though. Hey everybody, we're live.
Dave, you just started the damn thing by blowing out people's speakers. Come
He
on.
did. He started.
Woo.
See, I don't think it posted here. Where is it? Oh,
No.
there it is. I got it. Hey everybody, welcome to the pre-show. This is the part of the show where we talk about what we're going to do on the show, news and stuff, mostly Star Trek. It's oddly enough, that's just how everything sort of happened today, unless you guys have something to add.
It can be in the what we did this week part, but I did go see Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
I do have that
I
queued
did
up.
not.
Yeah, I did not. I heard it was not great, but yeah, we'll get the skinny on that. So yeah, let's just get into it. Are you okay, Dave?
Yes,
He found that hilarious.
I did.
Let's do it. So out of it this week.
Mm-hmm.
So tired, so busy this past week.
No.
Andy, check it in.
That's right, Andy. You beat us to it, though. But I did actually start watching on Picard.
Oh, nice. We'll talk about it. That's what I was going to talk about.
Hell yeah. I am not caught up, though.
Oh, you're getting spoilers.
That's fine. I just haven't seen the most recent one, is all.
Greetings, geeks. Welcome back. Another episode of this Geek and Comics Hour Geeks comic book shit talk show.
Shit talk show.
I was waiting, Dave. Shit.
What? No,
Dave,
Go
geez,
for
what?
Taylor.
the
Take
mute
care, Dave.
icon on my screen didn't go off until you finished yours talking for whatever reason.
Well, then you kind of overcompensated.
He did. He really went all in after the error. Dave Taylor went and saw Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Mary Marvel looking amazing. But how was it? I've heard only terrible things. Actually, I take that back. A lot of people have said, you know what, I liked it, but it did not.
Yeah, I mean, if a lot of people are saying are like saying terrible things, they are all out of their fucking mind. This was pretty good.
Hell yeah.
Like,
I liked the first one. It was good.
I suppose that the pandemic did the biggest disservice to this compared to a lot of other movies because, you are dealing with a lot of child actors and, the big delay definitely killed a lot of its momentum. But the first movie is, I think, the best of this era of the DC movies.
Nice.
I guess it probably loses out to the Suicide Squad at this point, the James Gunn one. But
I love that.
Other than that, it really doesn't have a lot of competition. The first movie was legitimately very, very good. I don't think this is quite as good as that, but it's still a lot of fun. It has a good blend of action and humor. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but it still also knows when to let a serious moment be a serious moment. Nice. It does a pretty good job balancing the different characters. There are a few things where, they kind of pull solutions out of their ass, especially at the end of the movie. But for the most part, it is a very enjoyable, definitely better than average DC movie, and I don't understand all the hate that it seems to be getting.
So Wonder Woman was spoiled in a trailer, but is the after credit scene I've read it already, but it's kind of important. It's kind of like a big deal, right? The after credit scene?
It's honestly hard to say because
we're in this transition period.
Yes, okay, so that's the thing. The after credit scene seems to be setting up spoilers, I guess.
Yeah.
The people from Peacemaker show up and they're trying to recruit Billy into the Justice Society. Is that still happening? I don't know. I have no idea what their plans are with that because I don't know if that's something they added in specifically to say, yeah, we're going to keep using Shazam even amidst all the turnover here, or if that's something that was going to be in the movie anyway and now is no longer valid because of all the turnover that they've been having.
I'm not sure if it's not valid. I mean, Peacemaker's not going away.
The fact that it was Peacemaker characters does give some credence to the idea that this actually is, they're going to continue using the Shazam franchise. And if they are going to use any of these movies from before the transition that they're doing, I hope it is this one. These are easily the best.
Cool. I think it'd be cool to see these characters, these actors in the Peacemaker show. And I think they'd be better served there than doing a whole movie. This doesn't need a third movie. That's for sure.
They definitely set up for one because the other post-credit scene is basically revisiting the previous post-credit scene.
Yeah, Dr. Shivani or whatever the hell his
Dr.
name is.
Savannah and Mr. Mind, who are like, so Shazam does not have a super well-known rogues gallery, but those are like the two biggest names from Shazam's rogues gallery.
Yeah.
Unless you want to count Black Adam, I guess.
Helen Mirren in this, I'm hearing, is really good. Like she is.
She's really good in it. Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren are both really effective as villains. The romance subplot, I don't know that they actually needed in this movie, where Freddie Freeman, well, actually, they make a pretty good joke about that. None of them really know what to call themselves. They don't have official superhero names, and I interpret that as a fun, like, wink and a nudge at the audience about this character having a really difficult publication history when it comes to using certain names.
Nice.
One person, I think the guy who was the actor in the Shazam show from the 70s does call him Captain Marvel in the movie, but it's just part of a sling of other names that they use for him.
Yeah.
And at one point, the character who is not actually called, but is Captain Marvel Jr., refers to Captain Marvel as Captain Every Power Jr., which I thought was also kind of a fun wink at the audience.
Nice.
So, yeah, this movie knows how to have fun with itself. It knows, makes good use of its characters. It's fun to see the little magical wrinkles that they throw in, like a pin that basically like serves as their like magical search engine for things.
Yeah. In the James Gunn era that's coming around, the Shazam movies certainly feel like they fit into what James Gunn typically does with his movies. You know,
yeah. I mean,
more over the top than the first Shazam movie was, but he knows how to have fun.
Yeah. That first Shazam movie honestly kind of got ahead of the trend a little bit by shitting all over the Snyder movies.
Right.
You know, there was that scene where like the kid is like playing with his Batman and Superman action figures and he's making them fight each other, but then he sees Shazam out the window and then he like drops the action figures, whatever. That seems to me like it's saying like, hey, let's get away from Batman versus Superman type of movies and let's just have some fucking fun.
Yeah. So if anything, I think these movies could continue in one way or another, at least these characters.
I hope they do. This was a good movie. This is pound for pound the best franchise that the DC movies have going, you know.
Yeah, and Dr. Savani and whatever
Savannah,
whatever, those two motherfuckers, they could carry over.
Mr. Mind.
You know,
yeah,
those actors aren't big enough where they're like, you know, gonna go and not do a show.
Mark Strong stays pretty busy, but yeah, they could. He's not like A-list, sure.
Yeah, exactly. Dave.
Yeah.
Segment 1. Did you do anything fun this week? Anything worth mentioning before we dig into TV?
I did get the Rock Viper, the classified Rock Viper on order.
Nice.
I didn't go for Big Ben because I wasn't really a fan.
Well, you're Range Viper, right?
Range Viper, yeah. There are Rock Vipers.
There are Rock Vipers.
There's too many Vipers in the Cobra.
There's a lot of Vipers. Yeah.
But Range Viper.
I didn't jump on those two. A Range Viper for me is not a one-figure buy. That's at least 3, possibly 4.
Yeah, but the thing is, compared to its like original run counterpart, that is such a glow up there.
Oh no, for sure. I think all the classified are heads and shoulders above.
Yeah, but that particular figure just got like, you know, like a 10-fold improvement.
Yeah. No, it was it is really nice.
Other than that,
I have like 6 on pre-order, dude. I have so many GI Joes on pre-order.
I also did get a pre-ordered Cottonmouth and Scrap Iron. So it's a Cobra operatives coming my way sometime in the near future.
Yeah, sometime this year, probably September.
Cottonmouth is one of those characters who sounds like it could be Cobra or a Joe to me. Is that a Cobra?
It is a Cobra.
Okay.
He was the pilot of the water moccasin.
I always thought it was weird that like one of the most iconic Joes is Snake Eyes.
Dude,
and the nemesis who does work for Cobra is Storm Shadow. I honestly think they might have mixed the names up at some point.
And especially because his main villain has such a serpent theme to everything.
Yeah.
Dave, what else?
This coming week, I believe the new BattleTech Mercenaries Kickstarter is dropping.
Oh, fun.
The 22nd or the 23rd, so I'm looking forward to it.
Very cool. Cool. TV, what did I do this week? I watched a shit ton of TV. Last of Us wrapped. One of the best seasons of TV ever, in my opinion. It was so damn good. I cried so many times. I love how the arguments, about Joel's decision came up again with everybody pulling details out that weren't in the narrative. That's the only way people can make an argument. And you're not really supposed to do that. It's basic philosophy, is what's going on here at the end of this show. But really good. You got to catch up. No spoilers. Mando, everybody caught up on Mando?
Yep.
I am caught up on Mando.
Ooh,
and
dude, Bo-Katan throwing it
yeah,
off.
she's been a real badass the last couple of weeks. Although this episode of The Mandalorian wasn't really an episode of The Mandalorian so much.
No,
I did hear a lot of gripes about that. It was more
I'm not
about
against
these
it.
two jokers.
It honestly felt like more of something they would do on Andor more so than Mando.
Dude,
but
I did kind
is
of
a
enjoy the
complaint.
change of pace for this episode.
Yeah.
Because it kind of gave us one of them like rare glimpses into like the New Republic that we don't get to see.
That's
Agreed.
true. And honestly, okay,
100%.
so I don't really feel positive or negative about it. I just find it curious, is all,
Yeah, what did they actually take from that thing? That box is obviously going to be important. And we know this dude definitely has connections to Grogu and that story from season 1.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I more viewed it that the Imperials are kind of tying up some loose ends here.
a scuttlebutt is that this is like the origin point for there being a Palpatine clone in
yes.
the sequel trilogy.
Yes, and there's the Bad Batch is actually leaning into that a little bit as well, which we don't really talk about. It a little bit. It is a little bit.
Although I think the Bad Batch is more along the lines of trying to perfect the Death Troopers.
So the things we already saw in Mando?
The things we already saw in Mando, because old EU lore was the Generation 0 and Generation 1 Death Troopers were cybernetic clones.
See, but that's what I'm saying.
One thing I am a little confused about as far as like the Empire scheme is going here. So they really just needed him to like identify the materials they needed for the cloning, because they actually did not use his own skill set there, because they just left him to fry there at the end.
I don't think it's necessarily you would find the materials you need to clone on a Star Destroyer.
Well, that's all they got out of him was those materials.
That's the only thing
I don't see any other point to what they did other than that.
We don't know what's in that box.
I think it was more of a setup by the communications officer.
Why would she bother?
Ellie.
Why would she give a shit about doing that to this guy?
Because she managed to get through the institution programs, and she knew what this guy could do. And basically, she's still an Imperial agent, and she's tying up loose ends. If this guy talks about the cloning process, the Republic would figure out that they're trying, because she
could have just shot him in the head. She could have.
That would have blown her cover, though.
She could have arranged it to look like an accident. If that was the point,
I think she did arrange it to make. I think she did arrange it to make.
If it was just to silence this guy, there are way less convoluted ways to do it, and it does not make any sense that she went through such elaborate lengths.
She was just trying to silence the guy. I think that she wanted whatever he knew was on that ship. She knew that he knew where it was, and they could go get it.
Yeah.
But it was also to set him up. Like Dave
maybe
said.
It was both, but I feel like
it
could not have been her sole purpose.
Exactly.
She
was definitely going there to get that thing. Definitely. Yeah. Which, I mean, what does that mean? We don't know yet, but we'll find out. And then finally, Picard. I mean, oh my gosh, it's so damn good. It's TNG just with everything, with all the nostalgia. And the big spoiler for the latest episode, Ensign Ro is back. That's not even the spoiler, really. I mean, she's so good. She's so freaking awesome. She's a commander now. Maquis shit going on.
The Maquis are still around?
There are members of the Maquis, ex-members of the Maquis that are still around. But no, the Maquis is not an actual...
I thought the Cardassians, when they joined the Dominion, the Maquis got wiped out.
A lot of them did, but the ones who were in prison or the ones who were in the Delta Quadrant were not. We'll talk more about that later. Let's get into news. And news sucks this week. Again, I thought we were deep into con season, but we're not. So we have a few stories. Master Replicas has picked up all of the stuff, all of the leftover stock that the now defunct Eagle Moss had, including their Star Trek starships, which went live today. You can pre-order these right now on masterreplicas.com. It's a great line. I have a lot of them.
Now, when you say they picked up the stock, they didn't pick up everything to make lines again, make new models or miniatures again.
No, there's no confirmation that they're going to continue to press any of these die-cast models. They just picked up the extra stock that they had. But obviously, it's enough stock where, it made the purchase of Eagle Moss's leftover stock worthwhile. These are great ships. They come in like 2 or 3 different sizes. I have quite a few of them. I need to actually replace some that have broken. But yeah, it's a fun little nod to everything that is Star Trek. And Taylor, if you've watched Picard, they were selling these ships in the first episode of Picard.
And Riker was complaining that no one wanted to pick up the Enterprise D.
That's one of the ones I need to have replaced, actually.
Now, of course, we, as fans of the show, that's like the go-to one to get, of course.
But just a lot of really fun ships in this line. It eventually was over 400 ships that they had in this line. So there's very limited quantities. We're not sure I'm not even sure what the pricing is yet. I didn't even go look. The first wave has 25 ships, with each one available for 2 weeks or until it sells out. In some cases, it'll be sold without the magazine that typically comes with it, because they don't have that stock. You know what I mean? It's a really weird situation with these, but it's really cool that these. My favorite collectible, my favorite Star Trek collectible of all time, are these little Eagle Moss ships. They are so cool, and it's really fun that we're going to be able to pick them back up now. So, no word yet on any of the other stock that Eagle Moss was doing. That included.
What was some of the other things, like chess pieces and stuff?
They look like little chess pieces, but little Marvel and DC figurines, little statues. They also had a really fun line of sort of build a thing. Like, it was a build a thing subscription service where you would build the Ecto-1 from Ghostbusters, for example. And every 2 weeks, they'd send you one part. So by the end of the first 6 weeks, you had the front half of the car. And then, you know what I mean? And then the top of the car. It was really cool, But yeah, I feel bad for those guys who've got half of an Ecto-1 sitting on a shelf and can't get the rest of the parts, Anyway, moving on. Digital comics. Earlier this year and late last year, we brought you the news about Comixology, Amazon company, basically just stopping. They still have comics on there, but the experience has just really gotten bad. The reader was pushed in with the Kindle service, which is made for novels and other sorts of books, and really isn't conducive to a reading experience that you need for comics on a screen. So now there's a company, Global Comics. They will have an app out by first quarter 2023. We're talking maybe March, April, May, somewhere around there. They're going to have demos at C2E2 March 31st to April 2nd. They have added confirmed Image, Boom, Archie, Tokyo Pop, also NBM Graphics, a whole lot more. I don't know, man. They got Valiant, Top Cow, Source Point, T-Pub, TKO, Bad Egg, Interpop, Mad Cave, Humanoids. It really feels like there are companies, publishers, that are leaning into these other platforms. And that leads us to Omnibus, which is another digital comics app that's coming out. It's going to be available iPhone, Android, PC, and Mac, which is different than Global Comics as of now. But I'm sure, Global Comics will come out with a desktop app. But this is exactly what is supposed to happen in the industry. All right. When there is an available avenue to publish comics, if you crack open a place for them to fill, they are going to fill it up. And this is a good thing.
It does seem really odd the way Amazon just kind of fumbled this year, because they had acquired basically a company that had already cornered the market. That had already edged out the competition, and they fucked it so hard that it's really opened the door for a lot of competition here.
It's part of the course of what Amazon does.
It is.
Why? Why acquire it in the first place for however much you paid for it? Because if you're just going to squander it like so.
because if Amazon had something in the wings that they were going to use, that would be the reason why. But Amazon doesn't have anything in the wings. But typically, when Amazon buys a company,
which circles back to why they did this.
Exactly. In modern times, dude, in our system, it's easier for them to take a loss. It was just easier. It raises their stock if they're cornering a market with an acquisition. But in lean times like we're having now, it makes better sense for them to go thinner, cut loose, the stuff that's not making them as much money, and then the whole cycle starts over and over and over again. Because comics have had the past 2 years have been amazing for comics. So you're right, it doesn't make sense. But if you look at the way the system works, it makes perfect sense in the context of the system, which is a really bad problem. But I'm happy that we are in a system where competitors now have an avenue. They have, a light that they can get in and work the system by giving us something good. No news about Marvel or DC yet. They have exclusive shit with Comixology still, which is very weird. But we'll see how this goes. I mean, you guys read digital comics at all?
Not really, but no. I definitely understand that in the 21st century, this is obviously a very important part of the comic books industry is, digital distribution.
Yeah. And I read a lot of digital, and I'm happy that we're going to get more platforms where I'll be able to do that. I'm very happy about that. All right, last bit of news. I told you it's a week. But Hellfire Gala, probably the big news of the week. It's going to be a one-shot again. It's going to launch just before the fall of X. It's going to upend Krakoa as we know it. Gary Duggan, all the artists on this: Chris Anka, Joshua Casaro, Russell Dauterman, Adam Kubert, Pepe Larraz, R.B. Silva, and Luciano Vecchio. This is coming out in July. A giant-sized one-shot. The free comic book day book is sort of hinting that the Uncanny X-Men, or the Uncanny Avengers, pardon me, are going to be coming back. With
that
Cap.
Definitely seems to be the case, yeah.
Quicksilver.
I'm trying to think how long it was ago that they did the initial Uncanny Avengers.
Oh, it was Remender.
It's a minute, yeah.
It was Remender, so it's been years.
8 or 9 years at least.
Yeah,
maybe?
It's been a while.
But yeah, I mean, I also heard that apparently they're doing like a live meeting for like the Hellfire Gala this year.
That is right. At D23, the official Disney fan club convention, they're going to have a real life X-Men Hellfire Gala. It's going to be great food. People are going to be dressed to the nines. The cosplay is going to be just off the hook.
I'd love to see some. I'm sure they'll share a lot of the best cosplays on official avenues and everything. But yeah, that's the thing that I'm most excited about for this.
Yeah, me too, man. Very excited about this. So yeah, the Hellfire Gala has been a cool thing since it's been a thing at the beginning of Hickman's whole run, and I guess this is going to be the last one. Is there a spoiler on here with Club?
With Dr. Stasis, yeah, I was about to mention that he has been the odd one out among all the Sinisters in the current event going. He got cacked by Mother Righteous in like the first issue of her book, and so I guess he's coming back with a vengeance once this whole event is over. Once it gets reset again.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I don't want to see the Krakoa age in quite so soon, but I understand why they are going to. I hope they up the fashion better than what's on the page here. But also,
I did see somebody teasing some artwork on Twitter for Medusa from the Inhumans, and it looked pretty good.
Oh, nice! That'd be fun.
We haven't seen very many Inhumans that I remember at any of these galas. That should be fun.
Yeah, that would be cool. It looks like we're also getting Captain Krakoa back, possibly in this Uncanny Avengers. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, it's really all about the in real life Hellfire Gala. That sounds like so much fun. So much fun. So yeah, we'll have more on that in July. Hopefully there'll be more news. And then let's do food.
Yummy.
Just despicable food news this week. Denny's is the first one. They're launching like a new menu and stuff like that. It's got a bunch of stuff on it. But the reason we're picking this one is it's an augmented reality menu. So you go into the restaurant. You pull out the menu. You're handed the menu. You pull out your phone, and you scan the menu with it, and shit starts happening on your phone. And you see, I don't know what the hell you see. What are you gonna see? What's the food gonna do on the phone?
It'll rotate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess you'll see how it looks on the table before you get it or something. I don't really see this enhancing the dining experience very much. I mean, it might be like
maybe at Denny's.
Maybe at Denny's, but I don't know. It seems like a novelty that would wear out before you used it. You finished the meal the first time you used it, you know?
Dude, can you imagine a fucking waitress saying, "Oh, and these are augmented AR menus," and the old ass bitch who she's sitting down be like, "What's that mean?" And her having to explain.
I don't want your woke menu.
Yeah, I don't want your woke menu.
I mean, the clientele at Denny's in particular, yes, I would assume is, yeah.
Thank you. And that's not a bash on Denny's at all.
It isn't, but I don't know. It seems like
3:00 in the morning when you're drunk.
It just seems like people who are going to Denny's are not, the most tech savvy lot. I don't know.
That seems like a stereotype, and I'm okay with it because I agree with it.
Yeah.
And above and beyond that, I am very tech savvy. I have a couple of degrees in technology. I would never fucking do this. If I walked in and like, oh, we have AR menus, I'd probably leave. What, I got to wear my Google glasses to read your fucking menu?
I just don't see how it adds anything.
The technology's not there to support this.
Yeah, I mean, what is it going to be, Johnny Mnemonic with Denny's? You're going to be looking in virtual reality to watch your sandwich get made? Oh, come on.
I mean, are they saving money on like having to print off menus? I don't understand why this gains anyone anything.
Yeah, I don't understand either. What are you going to see on your phone when you scan the menu? I mean, even though that sandwich in the middle with the jalapenos, it looks okay.
A lot of this food looks fine. Yeah, it looks okay.
Yeah.
I don't think those hash browns would sit very well, but like, the pancake, the onion, it looks like a brisket on mac and cheese there.
That is a mac and cheese brisket, my friend.
Yeah.
That looks really good.
Yeah, all those look fine. No knock against the actual food itself here, but the concept of Denny's virtual menu, or sorry, augmented reality menu, it just seems absurd.
It does. It does. All right, food news 2. The volcano menu is back at Taco Bell June 29th. We never miss Taco Bell news on this show.
No, that's
gotta keep our ear to the ground on that one. Yeah.
No,
that is actually the food news that started this whole.
Yeah, because of the whole Mexican pizza ordeal.
Yeah. Thanks, Doja Cat. We love you.
But man, okay, so a volcano associated with Taco Bell can only make me think that someone is just blasting ass in the bathroom.
Andy talking about Denny's for old people, stoners, and drunks here in Minnesota. So for everyone,
I'm pretty sure that is a shared experience across the U.S. of A. There, Andy. Yeah.
So it's going to be a volcano burrito, volcano taco. So just the basics, and you can have the option to add lava sauce to any item, which is nice. The volcano menu will be available first with early access for Taco Bell Rewards members. $8 a month, and general availability June 29th for a very limited time. This was established way back in 1995. Taco Bell is turning up the heat for the 3rd time. So yeah, get your volcano on. I know I'll be jumping on that. I like a good hot taco, man.
This is going to ruin so many people's digestive systems. It just is.
That's what happens. You only live once. You only go around this big taco.
For a lot less time if you're enjoying these types of things at Taco Bell.
All right, that's all the news, man. This shitty news this week, dude. I was very upset. But a lot of comics, but only some good ones. I mean, there were a lot of comics this week.
Yeah, pretty overwhelming.
I actually had trouble picking my third one this week. The Forged was good. That's a new Greg Rucka joint, but man, it was like 20 pounds of shit crammed in a 5-pound bag. There was a lot to it. Miles Morales is also a shout out. It was really good, but I want to call out the Image book. I Hate Fairyland #5. Scotty Young, Brett Bean doing the art on here. A little bit of a disappointment from the original run on I Hate Fairyland. If you don't know what I Hate Fairyland is, years ago, a young girl named Gert wanted to go to Fairyland, and it was cool for a while, but then she grew up, and it became the worst fucking experience ever for her. It was a lot of tongue-in-cheek, a lot of potty humor, really, really cool. And this is the sequel to that, where a rich guy, I guess, loses his son or his kid, one of something, in Fairyland, and hires Gert, who is down on her luck. The first issue of this, she was so down on her luck. She lived in Fairyland her whole fucking life, so she literally is not good at doing anything. So it's really hard for her to find a job. So she goes back to save this dude. Issues, happen. We're up to issue 5. The great thing about this issue, the reason it made my top 3, is it was mostly a silent issue. And on the very first page, it had a QR code that you scan with your phone, and it plays a song. The song is called This World by Jack the Radio. I didn't listen to it. But I guess the book, you're meant to read it along. And it's not even read,
Man, that was a lot of build up for you not even utilizing the thing you're talking about.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even scan the song. But still, it was rad, dude. She's fighting a monster, and at the end
that is a much better use of augmented reality than like getting a menu at Denny's.
That's right. And you know what? I'm glad you said that, because it's in my notes. This is also a form of augmented reality. Augmented reality is using technology to augment media that already exists. Menus, lame. Comic books with a background soundtrack, that's fucking dope. Okay, very cool. So this is the last issue of the first arc. She completes her whatever, does whatever she needs to do, but then gets fucked by the dude who hired her. Now she's stuck in Fairyland again, and it's really terrible. But last page
Damn
reveal,
the rich.
Larry's back. Larry was Gert's like Jiminy Cricket, so to speak, through the whole first series. And he hasn't been in this yet. Even though this was the last issue of this run, I think they're going to come back with a volume 3 with Gert and Larry. His name is Laragon Wentworth III, actually. But yeah, dude, just a fun series. Scotty Young, anytime he does anything, I'm always on board. And another great series. In a week where there were a lot of books, but not very many gems, I'm glad I had this book this week. Taylor, honorable mentions and number 3.
All right, rapid fire for a lot of honorable mentions. Miles Morales Spider-Man number 4 gets honorable mention. I like this new villain. I'm actually kind of rooting for her a little bit.
I am too. That cliffhanger page. Oh
yeah.
No! Wow. I'm sure they're fine, but wow.
They'll be fine, But Secret Invasion number 5 was a lot of fun. Is that on your list?
No, I don't even have an image for that. But yeah, that book was a lot of fun, dude.
It was a lot of fun.
More of a setup series.
This is how I kind of assumed it was going to end, but it was still well executed. So good stuff.
Agreed.
Captain America: Symbol of Truth number 11 was a lot of fun. We had our little dust up. Yeah, this was basically just one big fight scene, but it was well executed, and you gotta love that Silva artwork for it.
Yeah.
But my actual number 3 this week is going to be Justice Society. Oh, sorry, another honorable mention for Avengers. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought you were gonna pick. Yeah, and it's penultimate issue of this. I think there's only 2 more issues left in Aaron's run.
Yeah, this was. I think the next one is the end of this story. In the end, there's going to be some sort of wrap-up issue after that.
Yeah.
But this was a lot of fun. All of our people, coming together.
Mephisto eating himself.
Yeah, Mephisto has
so weird.
Started breaking into the firmament of everything. So yeah, this was a real hoot. But it was setting up something even bigger for the next issue. So that's why it's an honorable mention and on my list. That being said, I love the hell out of this story. I've loved the hell out of Aaron's run. So yeah, real hoot. Okay, but my actual number 3 is Justice Society of America number 3. This one is a bit more subjective, I guess. Yeah. This is why I like it, because it is the main reason I like it is because it is such a treat as like someone who likes comic book history, because we are going to all these different eras. Like we started off with like Sergeant Rock, and I didn't even realize that this Dagon guy, who's our main bad guy here, I didn't realize he was this older character that I didn't recognize.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the trip through like World War II era DC Comics. I love the gathering of the heroes finally at long last. And yeah, this has just been a whole hell of a lot of fun. Jeff Johns is really good at this type of thing.
Yeah,
and
agreed.
Yeah, Justice Society is like some pet characters of his, and it's cool to see him writing them again.
Yeah, best line in this is Power Girl. Where's Superman? I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. And he never even showed up. You didn't need him, girl. He got it. All right, Dave, this is a hard week for me to judge what you were going to have on your list, so let's do it.
All right. My honorable mention, first honorable mention is going to be The Forged. Just seems like a less grimdark version of Warhammer 40K with a little bit of Space Above and Beyond mixed in.
Agreed, 100%.
Kind of, it did pack a lot into this first issue, and
it's a double-sized issue too.
Well, it's not a double-sized issue; it is a Black Label-sized issue.
It was huge, dude.
It is a big comic book,
big ass comic.
But
it was good though, and it's Greg Rucka. He knows how to build a universe. I just think this one was a little bit more stuttered than some of his previous outings.
It just seems like there's a lot going on for the reader to get really into.
Yeah.
Like are they clones? Are they like genetically engineered people?
And then we got horny like princesses running around.
Horny princesses, horny for their sister.
It's a weird book. I'm all in.
Yeah,
that is a weird thing to hear when you have no context for what you guys are talking about.
Dude. It's weird with context. It might be weirder with context.
The horny space princess calls one of these forged into her chamber, and then she's like, "You and I are from the same batch. We're technically sisters." And it's like what the fuck?
Thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to insist that you move on to something else now.
Thank you.
All right.
My next honorable mention is going to be Trojan number 3.
Yeah, I did not get the thing for that.
Just basically no good deed goes unpunished is the overarching theme of this particular issue. So it's just really fucked up what happens. Another Dobby dies. So
yeah.
And then
I didn't read it. I skipped it this week. See,
it's really hard to kind of explain it. It's like
a weird book. It's basically like people hate on it's sort of like that Will Smith movie that's on Netflix where all of the mythical monsters are in the real world too.
I'm more liking it to that show on Amazon Prime, Carnival Row, but
they
kind of stream the torment and sexual abuse of fake creatures and snuff films, and
that's what's happening here. Yeah, this bitch trying to get over to get revenge.
Yeah, and
she's like a fairy,
and she meets up with 3 of the more popular or well-known streamers, and pretty much everybody dies this issue.
Yeah. I'm
like, what the fuck?
I didn't read this week, man. I need to catch up on it though. There's only one issue left. I'll catch up next month.
And my last honorable mention this week is going to be Masters of the Universe Masterverse.
Oh my god.
Number 2.
Go ahead. I'm skipping this. I didn't like the first issue.
Well, it essentially what it is Zodak, who is more powerful than He-Man, I would believe. He's a cosmic enforcer.
He's like the Dr. Fate of Motu, right?
Yeah, he is
Metreon or whatever his name is. Maybe,
depending on the continuity of Masters of the Universe, he either works for the Elders or he is an Elder. And the Elders
that's always been a weakness of He-Man narratively, is that he is like so much stronger than Skeletor.
Yeah.
It's hard to have drama when like the bad guy is just hopelessly outclassed by the good guy.
Well,
I mean, Cobra Commander's kind of a wimp too, but
at least that's like normal people, and it's like an army and everything. It's not like superhumans fighting each other with their fists, where He-Man is just like clearly stronger than the bad guys here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you haven't seen Revelations then,
David. I didn't. Whatever. Just move on.
Yeah,
but Zodak is there to judge He-Man, but not He-Man, but every He-Man of the multiverse.
That's right. Yeah, this is like a multiverse.
And he's like, I gotta to really truly gauge He-Man, how good He-Man is. I have to make him suffer. And it's just like, dude,
so weird.
It is weird.
So weird. Number 3.
Okay, my number 3 book this week is going to be Nocterra, number 12.
Oh my gosh, I didn't grab that one either. I knew this was going to be a hard week.
On the road again.
I skipped this week too, man. I was so busy.
Apparently, the shades can turn people into shades faster now. And our hero gets the blacktop bill treatment. So notice she's got this cloak of living night that protects her.
It's like tiny robots, right? Like nanites or something.
Yeah, she's gone Vanta Black.
Yeah,
and they do know that there's a place that can restore light to the world, and now they're making their way to this place. But she has become she has taken on Blacktop Bill's powers.
Yeah,
and Blacktop Bill has joined the Shades.
Very weird. I need to catch up on this too. I'm an issue or 2 behind. Great book though. Scott Snyder, hard to go wrong. Tony S. Daniel doing the art too. I mean, shit.
I mean, yeah, it's got pedigree. Pedigree. I'm just glad that it's starting to pick back up again. It's
hell yeah.
Been a little bit slow since their hiatus, but they're starting to get back on track.
Nice. All right, that comes back to me for number 2, Star Trek, number 5, Colin Kelly, Jackson Lanzig, definitely in the run, maybe front runners for best writer of the year. Roman Rosanos and Eric Tamayo doing the art in a really fun sort of combination. Trek comics have not been this good in years, possibly forever. Okay, look, it's Worf, it's Tom Paris, it's Data. Scotty is in there, Dr. Crusher, Benjamin Sisko. I mean, it's just leaning into the nostalgia of Star Trek in just the best ways. Kahless II, who, if you don't know, is actually a clone of the first Kahless, who was the mythical like almost like a demigod of the Klingons. Basically, they're Hercules. One of the favorite sayings, of them, or Kahless' story, is he murdered the Klingon gods because they were too much trouble than they were worth. His mission is to kill all of the gods in the galaxy. We're talking crystalline entities. We're talking Qs. We're talking the founders, the Bajoran gods who live in the wormhole.
There are a lot of omnipotent aliens in Star Trek, like more than
there are. And Kahless is really doing a good job. Okay, he is fucking murdering the shit out of them. So the Klingons attack the ship with a boarding party. And one of the Klingons is fucking Alexander, Worf's son.
What?
Dude! So Worf is just like, oh shit. Now he's in a tizzy now, as you can imagine, right? So by the end of the issue, he ends up stealing a shuttlecraft to continue the hunt for Kahless and rescue his son, while Sisko and the rest of the crew chase after this, which is a god city that's been asleep forever. Kahless woke it up, was going to murder it, and it woke up in the process. The crew stopped them, stopped Kahless, and now this ship is heading towards Earth to destroy Earth because it's like, no, fuck you guys, we're pissed.
Why is it going to Earth when it's obviously
because it knew because it looked at the ship and there was a human driving it. Sisko is the one who stopped them. He went to the surface and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna fuck with me? I can read your mind. Now I'm gonna go fuck with you," and he's gonna go murder, Earth, kill Earth. Man, action packed, just fully Trek in its presentation, but it's nostalgic. It's almost sickening. It's like eating too much candy. It is so sickening.
They managed to get a really impressive representation from a lot of different Treks there between OG and Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. Yeah. Although of course there's a lot of Next Generation in Deep Space Nine anyway, but
Yeah. And it's great that Scotty is still around and they're leaning into that. That he's still working,
he canonically was still alive during the Next Generation.
Yeah. So great. We'll have more on Worf's adventures in a minute, but that leads us to Taylor's number 2.
My number 2 this week is Immoral X-Men number 2.
Nice.
So this Sense of Sinister event has been just a whole barrel of fun. Immoral X-Men has probably been the strongest of the 3 books for me personally.
I like Storm and the Brotherhood, but 100%.
Storm and the Brotherhood is good, but like we haven't seen our second issue of that. So based off of what all has like released like a body of work so far. But anyway, this one where we're basically like POVing from like Sinister himself, it's really interesting to see like the machinations. It's also just horrific to see what the mutants are capable of when like, they're unleashed on the galaxy like this. Like this basically starts off with Hope destroying a fucking solar system.
She's literally using sentient mutants to do it, using them as living bullets.
Yeah,
to destroy these things. It's so immoral. It is 100% immoral, and it's so good.
Yeah, it's just all these mutants, all these Krakoans with like no reservations about doing the worst fucking things because they've all been sinisterized, and it's just so fascinating to see what's become of all that. No, like we get our test drive for Rasputin 4 here, who just like wrecks a whole army of Mystiques. Although I will say, having Colossus's like steel skin seems a little redundant when you're already intangible and have like Unis the Untouchable's force fields. But whatever.
Hey, whatever. That's just Sinister having a shit ton of fun.
Yeah, a backup plan.
Yeah, always have a backup plan.
I suppose. But for me, the best part of this issue was Exodus. And his fucking Judas moment when he just like, Hope, her power is that she takes other powers. And so when he gets to the surface of the planet, she's like, oh, wait, here I am going to murder another solar system today. He's all like, I'm just going to leave and you're going to be helpless. And
she doesn't have any real powers on her own.
She doesn't. All she does is like take and enhance from others. And so when Exodus decides he's going to leave because he wants her as like a martyr rather than a pope, it's such a brutal like kick in the teeth moment where like it's so fascinating to see like all these council members when they're just pieces of shit. Like what it means for like us to have like an evil Professor X means a very different thing from having an evil Emma Frost, from having an evil Hope, from having an evil Exodus. So this is maybe Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants is going to change my mind next week. That was really good in its opening round too, but this has, for me, been the best of the Sins of Sinister books so far.
Yeah, my favorite part of this issue was Sinister taking the diamond off of Rasputin. And
that's really fascinating to see, like, what is his gambit here? Because Sinister is still fucking Sinister, so, like, for him to relinquish control, maybe, like, he figured, like, that's the one thing they would never expect me to do.
But is this still leaning into House of X? The opening of this whole Hickman era?
Maybe. I mean,
is this how it happens?
That was one of Moira's lies. I mean, presumably no, because like this is definitively not how it went during Moira's like 8th or 9th life, whatever that was.
But what I'm leaning into here is the only reason we're even close to this reality is because Sinister used one of Moira's lives.
That's true.
So okay. It almost feels like it's a cycle. Like it will never end. And Moira leaned into that in the what was the event where she was found out and went on the run?
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but I can't.
The many lives of Wolverine? The lives of Wolverine?
Was it X Lives and X Deaths of Wolverine? I think it was.
It was.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
That's where the Phalanx Wolverine from the future came back.
He's right. Yeah,
it was one or the other. Then whatever.
Yeah. But anyway, she sort of leaves into that. Will I ever actually find a solution? Will I ever actually do it? No matter how many chances I have, will I ever actually get there? Because she talks about how history is repeating itself, and I don't know, man. It's a lot of fun to lean into, really, I think. But yeah, great issue, dude, for sure. Great issue. Dave, number 2.
My number 2 is Harrower, number 2.
Harrower?
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead. I have not read any of this.
It's a book from Boom Studios.
Justin Jordan. I'm actually friends with him on Facebook. I should really read this.
And Bram Ravel.
Yeah.
Essentially, it is kind of like Jason, Freddy, all the monsters that the teenagers have to fight. this one girl is kind of fascinated by him, but there's this one she's fascinated in particular called the Harrower, and he's kind of come to get her, but he like it's got all these tropes, like the teenage house party while the family's away. He shows up, pretty much kills everybody but the girl. It's wild.
Who's fascinated with him?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I have a crush on my last girl.
Something like that.
Nice.
It's nice. There's that. She's not the last girl yet, but she's fascinated by these kind of tropes. And she didn't want to go to this house party. Then he shows up. He starts hacking kids with it. Then he sets the house on fire. And he already had like gasoline set to burn cars and stuff. His kids got away. It was nuts. Wow. And then the police show up, and he's like going to start killing police now. It's like Jason on steroids.
Nice.
A smart Jason on steroids.
Yeah, I need to read this. I have it. I haven't picked it up. I'm so busy this week.
But I would recommend, if you like Where Monsters Lie, definitely get this book.
Nice. All right, that leads us to the number ones. It's a Star Trek week. Star Trek Defiant number 1, Christopher Cantwell, Angel Unzueta. What a great move. IDW releases both of these books in the same week, and for very good reason. This opens right after the events of Star Trek number 5, where Worf leaves Sisko and the crew in a shuttle to go do his thing. He's going to hunt down Kahless II because he wants to save his son. He lands, and just look at the design here. Very well done here with the Defiant. Just really cool. But he lands on a planet that's sort of on the Romulan border, and Spock is fucking there.
Also canonically alive in the TNG era.
Also canonically alive.
And not too surprising, considering when TNG last left Spock, he was working to try to reunite.
Unification.
Yeah.
They talk about that. They talk about that in this.
Man, this is like such fan service bullshit, but I fucking love it.
It is. That's exactly what's in my notes. It's fan service, but man, service me. I want to be serviced. B'Elanna Torres shows up, is the chief engineer on the ship that they end up getting. Obviously, you know which ship they're getting. It's the Defiant.
It's a tough little ship.
Now, yeah, it's a tough little ship. Kahless is using some old Maquis techniques in his mission to kill the gods, because obviously people are not going to be down with him just going around murdering sentient beings, no matter what they're doing. So Worf has to sort of get this crew of just rejects, Spock being one of them. He's not a reject, but he's certainly out of the loop when it comes to Federation shit. B'Elanna Torres, who, is still a Maquis at heart. Ro Laren joins this crew. Actually, Worf goes and breaks her out of prison.
So she's still in the Cardassian prison then?
No, she's in a Federation prison.
Oh, she's in a Federation prison.
Yeah, okay. Ro Laren was in a Federation prison. He breaks her out. So Worf's plan includes using the Defiant, because that's his boat, to hunt down Kahless. Now, Kahless is, again, using Maquis tricks. So he's sort of positioned himself with some Orion pirates. Okay? So what he's doing, he breaks Ro out of jail. He goes and steals the Defiant and then blames Ro for it on Federation subspace channels, right? Like an anonymous tip, Ro Laren. So the Federation actually, it's in the issue. They put out a communication to all subspace channels and say, oh, hey, the Defiant was stolen. If you see it, get it immediately. Go and take it down, because Ro Laren has stolen it. And she's still with the Maquis.
Take down the Defiant.
Take down the Defiant. And Worf's entire goal there is to have Ro Laren have some credibility with these Orion pirates so that they can track Kahless. Just fucking perfect, dude. Just so well done. It has a little bit of first issue syndrome, but it was all healed on the last panel, the last page, where he's got Lore's head hooked up to the Defiant. We don't know what he's doing yet. But yes, Lore is going to be a member of this fucking crew. So fun. Trek comics may have in their history been this good, and I'm just so excited to see where this series goes. You know they're going to have some awesome captains, some great ships come and try to track down the Defiant.
When they inevitably like converge again, and you have like Data and Lore on opposite like ends of it. Yeah,
that's the talk. This summer there's going to be a crossover event.
I mean, there has to be, you know.
Oh, I'm so excited, dude. Star Trek TV has not been this good since the late 80s, early 90s. And we're there again. We're there again, but in the comics, you know. And Picard is leaning into this whole nostalgia thing a lot too. So, yeah, very good.
I mean, by all means, give me that fan service. I am loving that in Picard so far, you know.
Yeah.
My least favorite person on Picard so far is Jack, the new character.
Jack Crusher got some problems. I think they're gonna.
I'm sure he'll grow on me, but like,
wait.
He's annoying in these first couple of episodes.
Oh, he is. But
he's
man, Captain Shaw. He's a crusher. Exactly, he's a fucking crusher.
Shut up, Wesley.
Taylor, number 1.
My number 1 this week, Wolverine number 31.
No way it wasn't. Holy shit.
So yeah, this has been one of the best Wolverine runs in a long time. This has probably been the best arc of this really awesome Wolverine run, just with Beast going. He is full on like
he's dark
cartoon supervillain. Yeah,
he's dark Beast now, dude.
This was the big showstopper moment. He like raises the point from the ground. He walks it out into the ocean and rips a submarine in half. Starting off right, he booby trapped his own body with the fucking like
with the Last of Us
Berserker
virus.
Spores.
With the Last of Us virus, cordyceps.
But yeah, just watching Wolverine now reunited with X-Force, like, you know, we have got to stop this motherfucker before he like just kills us all with his fucking machinations. And yeah, him starting up Weapons of X here at the very end with his own little Wolverine army here.
Yeah, he's got his own little cloning thing. He cloned himself a bunch of times, so now he's got basically his own council of
Dark
beasts,
Council of Dark Beasts.
Yeah, Council of Hanks. And his own little squad of Wolverines.
Listen to him like monologue trying to like justify this bullshit that he's doing.
He's a bureaucrat.
He's
now.
such a bastard.
He's a bureaucrat now. He's like every stereotypical CIA agent in every action movie ever. He's Kelsey Grammer in fucking Transformers. I don't know. He's just a terrible government dipshit now. And I love it. I love it. It's so good, dude. I think my favorite part of this issue was Wolverine taking responsibility for it. He's X-Force. I was on X-Force. You know, he didn't give himself any inches at all. No leeway, no excuses. This is on me. I'm going to go murder this motherfucker.
Ben Percy, I think the secret to success is he truly understands what makes Wolverine a good character.
Exactly.
Yes, you're leaning into like, you know, the violence and the things like that. And, you know, that is like intrinsic to the character, but also just Wolverine being the guy who will be the Sin Eater. You know, he will go in. He is what Beast is trying to be, you know, the guy who will do the terrible things that need to be done. But Wolverine keeps his true north, right? Beast wants to like control everything. Wolverine wants to stop anyone from getting hurt who doesn't need to, you know? Yeah. And just Ben Percy gets that about Wolverine. And I think that really comes through in his writing.
Yeah, 100%. Great issue, great run. The Juan Jose Rip art is just awesome for this fucking art.
The body horror on display in this.
Great, dude. I mean, just look at this.
Yeah, I mean that whole thing with like Wolverine, like in partial stages of development in the vat, and that's not the most like horrific panel in the comic. Yeah, I mean, Christ,
so well done. Yeah, great choice, great choice. Dave, we're gonna wrap with your number 1.
All right, my number 1 is No One number 1.
That's the only one I guessed.
It was
solid, dude. For the Massiveverse, it was really solid.
It's essentially Massiveverse gets its own version of Batman.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, if you were to read this as a standalone, you wouldn't know it's part of the Massiveverse.
That's a good thing.
But you know, it's got it's got a Batman-esque character in there. It's got a Jim Gordon character in there. It's got a Vicky Vale character in there. Maybe a Robin. I don't know. But this
not
thing,
yet, but it's
not
happening.
yet. But
it
is, it is just wild. This police officer's dealing with his past, and you've got this vigilante running around killing gangsters. And it's just, and there's no mention of any other thing in the Massiveverse. So you could read this thing right now and just enjoy it and not have to worry about any connections.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really cool thing that Image is doing with this Massiveverse. I want to see more of these. I want to see more shared superhero universes outside the big two. Jeff Lemire is doing good things with the Bone Orchard mythos, in terms of shared universes.
Well, Jeff Lemire also did some universe building with Black Hammer.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, dude, for sure. Yeah, there are a lot of opportunities for these other publishers, not the big two, to do shared universes and do them right. And I think they're doing it. I think they're doing it with this Massiveverse. I think it's winning me over.
It is. Right now, like Inferno Girl Red, I'm not completely sold on, but Radiant Black is great. Rogue Sun is great. Radiant Red has been good. Dead Lucky has been fine. I just don't know where exactly it fits into the Massiveverse timeline. Seems like it's a little futuristic compared to the other books.
Yeah.
This book, I don't know where it fits in the Massiveverse timeline, but
I don't think that matters.
But
much.
But like, if you're a Batman fan, pick up this book. This is a great, Batman substitute when, DC doesn't give you Batman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you say that DC's always giving us Batman.
There'll be a day when DC doesn't give us Batman. And that'll be a sad day.
I don't know about that.
Dave, you are categorically wrong. If DC exists, there might be a day where DC no longer exists as a company, but until that day comes, they will be pushing out Batman.
100. But yeah, this is a solid read. I'm glad I gave it a look. So awesome. That's the show, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. We really appreciate it. Check out the Bullies. Leroy and Eli are going to be doing a show later on tonight on these channels and others. Pop culture. They're going to be talking about Shazam. They're going to be talking about Mando. Eli going to go off on Mando. I just know it. But if you want links to everything they've got going on, you can go to outrightgeekery.com. That's also got links to everything we've got going on, all the social media, all the video, all the audio stuff. Check it out. It's also got links to the Outright Geekery group on Facebook. Andy's running that thing. Go over there and check it out. We're always having a ton of fun over there. What else? Oh, we're going to be back tomorrow for sure. 100% tomorrow. We are going to be back to do the preview show. We're going to be talking about all of the new books coming out this week. Please come back and join us then. We'd really appreciate it. Again, thanks for hanging out, everybody. We love you. But most of all, thanks to these guys, these jokers, for hanging out with this joker.
Waka waka.
Always fun.
We are going to do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.